Hey everybody, Baby Keem just released his album The Melodic Blue, and I wanted to make a beat inspired off of it. So first I'm going to deconstruct this first little part I made, and then make a second part live. So, we started out with this synth from the Keynote Band's one-shot kit, which I really recommend. It's a free kit, and it's this one-shot. And I just went into the envelope and increased the attack so it kind of has like a reverse fade-in effect. And I made these basic chords. And pretty much the whole album, like most of it is like a 3-bar loop, just repeating. So that's what I went for here. So I used a Hungarian minor scale. This is really good for 1 semitone differences, which has a super dark feel to it. So what I did here was I just inverted some chords. So I wanted the G to go up to G sharp, then I inverted it down so that it just has a 1-note difference. Then I repeated this one, and then made a chord out of B so that it's got a 1 semitone difference all over. So it's like a super weird sounding chord progression, but it sounds really fire. I layered it with a synth from the Cymatics Apex one-shot kit, another free kit, and that sounds like this. So then after I got the chords, I wanted to make a little melody. This sound kind of sounds like a harp. It's called Theremin from, I think, the Apex one-shot kit again. And I basically just copy-pasted the top notes of the melody and then took out the beginning of it. And it's good for not making your beat sound overcrowded, having everything get introduced at the same time. The next up I got this organ, which is one of my favorite sounds. It's kind of inspired off the little like synth from the first part of Range Brothers. So we got this. So this is Drawbar from Citrus, which is like a stock plugin. And all I really did was, once again, I grabbed the top notes of the chord. And then I just added some slides to make it more bouncy. So I'm in 123 BPM right now, which I think is a pretty good tempo for Baby Keem type beats. So I just started with a super simple clap, 2 layers. It's a super weird sound. Then simple counter snare. First the clap hits, then it's got the simple trap placement of the snare that everyone puts. It's either here or both. And then it layers with the clap. And then I just have this little roll at the end, so that's what those 3 are sounding like now. And then now I got the coolest part, which is an 808. And basically, the 808s on the album, most of the time they did something cool with it. They didn't just do the regular 808 pattern. So I kind of have this like simple repetitive bounce here where every time it just hypes up this note, which hits at the same time as a clap, which gives it this really cool impact. I got this little like roll, and then I have this reverse 808. The way you do this is that you grab a note, put it down to 0 velocity, then place a slide note an octave above. So that just repeats, and then I have this little double note at the end. And this is just a simple Pierre 808. And then to make it more interesting, I layered it with another 808 because they play at the same time, right? You gotta EQ out the bass of the other 808 till 200 Hz. It should sound good, but then it has to be an 808 that actually has some presence in the high end. Like, don't do this with like a Spins 808 because there's no point. This is the Run It Up 808 from the free producer grind Pierre drum kit. And basically this just copies the same little roll, adds more impact to the 808 that hits on the clap. So that's what this sounds like together. Then I got a hi-hat, which I just used a hi-hat MIDI by Cody from his free hi-hat MIDI kit. And then I just kind of added a little bit to it, just a couple rolls. And then if you go into the note pan, I made the rolls like pan from left to right. So yeah, and that's the first beat pretty much. now we're gonna work on the second beat, and I want this to have a distorted hard feel, kind of like the first beat on Trademark USA and the beat on Vent. Those two are like probably my favorite songs from the album. So now we're gonna be using a minor harmonic scale, which has more of a dark vibe. So I'm gonna start with Citrus, the Digi Synth under Short Synths. Alright, so this is sounding really hard. Now I kind of want to find some sort of epic synth. Might go to Surge, which is another free plugin. Again, good for like maybe some rage shit. Okay, that's cool. I kind of want to add this little choir as a texture. I love this choir sound. I use it so much. Now let's get to it. So I'm going to add an 808. So I want some distorted. Alright, I'm liking how this sounds. So I think the 808 sounds a little too deep, as I expected. So I'm going to transpose it. So what you need to do for that is you press Control Shift, and you click on the little squares on the side. You press this little arrow button, you press Transpose selected. Then you either do plus or minus, and then however amount of semitones you want to increase or decrease it. So I'm going to try 2 first. So let's just find some sort of heavy snare. So now I'm just gonna add an open hat, then a kick, and then hi-hats, and then it'll be done. So yeah, I like that little placement. So now I'm just gonna add the kick and then the hi-hats, and it'll be a day. And I think this is pretty heat. So this kick is from the Lunch 77 Filthy Drum Kit. I think I got it off Reddit somewhere. And now to add a bit more swing to it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to note velocity and just make it go a little lower every second one. Alright everyone, thanks for watching. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.